The Persephone Cycle, Episode 1. The Maiden Among the Asphodels, by Tara Lionheart. Inspired by the myth of Persephone and Hades. Logline. Trapped in a world of rigid propriety, a sheltered young woman's artistic soul is recognized by a celebrated painter and his powerful patron, who orchestrate a respectable modeling contract that serves as the first fateful step into their bohemian underworld. Scene 1. Interior, Vance family drawing room, Sunday afternoon. This is a grand room, suffocating under the weight of dark, polished mahogany and heavy velvet curtains. Sunlight struggles to get in. The only sound is the ticking of a severe mantel clock. Teresa Vance, a woman forged from steel and propriety, sits ramrod straight in a high-backed chair, observing her domain. Her son, Plutus, a man who wears his duty like a well-tailored but slightly too tight coat, reads the financial pages. His wife, Eleanor, elegant and composed, calmly embroiders. Their two children, Arthur and Florence, sit perfectly still on a settee, reading from leather-bound books. They are immaculate, silent miniatures of their parents. And then there is Cora. She stands by the window, her back to the room. Her posture is perfect, her dress impeccable, but her fingers trace the patterns of frost on the cold glass. She is a statue dreaming of movement. She turns, her expression carefully neutral.
Grandmother, I was reading in the paper that the Slade School is offering a course in anatomical drawing. For ladies only.
Teresa looks up, her gaze sharp. Plutus lowers his paper an inch, listening.
Anatomical drawing?
Yes, for artistic study. To better appreciate the masters. I thought it might be instructive.
A beat of silence. Teresa sets down her teacup with a soft, final click.
We are Vances, Cora. We are patrons. We appreciate art. We do not make it.
The statement is not cruel. It is a simple, unbreakable law of nature. Cora's face betrays nothing, but we see her hand clench into a fist at her side for just a moment before relaxing into perfect stillness again.
Yes, grandmother.
She turns back to the window. Trapped. The mantel clock continues its relentless, steady ticking. Eleanor observes the room, and we see sympathy for Cora.
I heard that Lord Ashworth is opening his gallery with a new collection tomorrow. Perhaps we can go see it, all together, as a family of art patrons?
Plutus wipes his face and generally stirs at the table.
Ashworth typically has good taste. That's a fine idea. Any other engagements we need to think about for tomorrow, Mother?
No, we can go see the gallery. I'm sure it will be an enlightening display.
Do you know the subject of the new exhibit?
I believe our preeminent art patron is showing off the works of his newest import from the continent, T. Corbin Vance.
Cora's eyes get wide. Her sheer excitement produces an anxious look on Teresa's face.
T. Corbin Vance. I've read about him. He's considered to be a very unique talent. He is both a revolutionary of the newest art styles, but also in many ways a classicist, inspired by myth and the art of Botticelli and the like.
Florence looks up from her reading.
Which ones are Botticelli again?
The Birth of Venus. Master Roman was showing it to us last month.
The most beautiful woman in the world, emerging from a seashell. It's like a dream. The movement in something so still.
Indeed. I'm not sure any of them possess the maturity to truly appreciate such a bare subject.
Cora, a young woman of your age should be less concerned with the works of men and more with securing a suitable match.
Your grandmother is quite right, Cora. We've had a number of advantageous introductions for you recently. Perhaps focusing on those rather than exhibitions would be more productive. Vance, even one in your precarious position, has a responsibility to their family and to their future.
He glances at Teresa, a subtle nod of understanding passing between them. Eleanor, however, watches Cora, a flicker of sadness in her eyes. Cora slowly turns back to the window, her silhouette framed against the muted light. Her fingers, instead of tracing patterns on the glass, now rest limply against the cold pane. The ticking of the mantel clock seems to grow louder, emphasizing the stifling silence that descends upon the room. Scene 2. Exterior, the studio, Sunday afternoon. Tristan Corbin Croft, 27, a gentleman with a dark but romantic look, is unloading the last of his bags from the carriage. There is a cart with more of his things being moved into the building by workers, obvious art supplies as well as photography supplies. Lord Aleron, the Earl of Ashworth, 50s, is observing the move in and moves to greet Corbin with a warm businessman's handshake.
Well, Croft, I was expecting the cases of paints and thinners and the like, but what's with the photography? You're not looking to change art forms on me, are you?
No, nothing like that. But use the technologies available to you in your time. I have no doubt that Leonardo would have taken endless photographs if he had the ability to do so. I find that, for as much as I thrive on having a great model, there are details of the face or in a pose that are ever so difficult to maintain throughout the project. With such modern inventions, I can take a picture and continue with the creation. Then, once the light is no longer amenable, I go develop the prints and have my reference for when the light returns exactly as it was. The models and other practicals are for colour and expression. The camera captures light and shadow. It's a wonderful new world we're living in.
So it is. An intriguing idea. And with me as your patron, all of London will be talking about you. And likely you'll be quite the jabberer during my salons. Your fellows will be stimulated by your ideas of mixing the high art of paint with the technology of lights and acids. Now, have you seen the gallery?
I have. I was just there directing the finishing touches. It's why my things are mostly here while I'm just arriving.
And? Thoughts?
Your staff are good. I only had to have them move 3 pieces.
Lord Aleron claps Corbin on the back. He holds the door open and Corbin enters first. Scene 3. Interior, the studio, Sunday afternoon. The studio has an industrial feel. It has 4 huge windows. There is a door to the living space at the middle of the interior wall. There is a bedroom and a small kitchen space back there. The front room is full of boxes and blank canvases, paints and more. Everything a painter's studio requires. Lord Aleron spreads arms to show off the space.
What do you think? Suitable for your needs?
It's a mighty fine space. I should have good light from 11 to 4, maybe longer with the western alignment on the windows. Your own reputation is proving true. When I told my cohorts back in Rome whom I was being patronised by, they were mighty jealous. Someone called you the Zeus of London's art scene.
Zeus? How theatrical. I simply understand that genius requires a firmament in which to shine, Croft. I provide that firmament. You provide the star. The return on such a partnership, well, that's the part they'll be talking about for years. Are you ready to give them something to talk about?
I'm ready. I've been dreaming about this set of paintings for years.
Scene 4. Interior, Lord Ashworth's gallery, Monday morning. The gallery is a swirl of high society and bohemian art. 100 paintings line the walls. Corbin's work is cleverly integrated, creating vibrant contrasts. The air hums with the murmur of cultured conversation. We catch snatches of it as the camera follows the Vance family moving through the crowd. A heated debate about brushstrokes from a group of bearded artists, a gale of laughter from 2 ladies gossiping in front of a scandalous nude. Cora's eyes dart to each group, her expression hungry. She slows, wanting to listen, to join in. But Teresa's hand is a firm, guiding presence on her elbow, keeping her moving.
Keep up, dear. We do not linger.
At centre, Lord Aleron and Corbin hold court beside a large plaque that reads, "The Persephone Cycle." They are the centre of gravity in this universe. The Earl and Corbin are surrounded by the Lord's man, Mr. Davies, and several other artists, in addition to members of the public.
Fantastic work you do, sir. I'm intrigued. Now tell me, what is this cycle all about?
Lord Ashworth here has taken me up on my latest pitch. 12 paintings depicting the entire story of Persephone and Hades, from simple Maiden to rulers of the Underworld. We'll touch on all the major moments, Demeter's endless winter, Hermes being sent to bargain for Persephone to return to the world of life.
What an undertaking! Such a classic subject, yet so rarely given its full breadth. And how will you capture the duality, the light and the dark? Now that's the kind of conversations I host at my evening salons. If you're intrigued, Mr. Croft will be a regular guest during the creation of the project. Some things are best done with drinks and smokes.
Scene 5. Interior, Lord Ashworth's Gallery, East Wing. The Vance family is in one of two side wings, viewing a less crowded wall of ballerinas. There are 3 T. Corbin Croft pieces with an assortment of others around it. Florence points to the collection excitedly.
Look at these ones.
Arthur rolls his eyes at his sister.
Of course you'd like these.
Just because it is pastel doesn't mean it isn't good. See how Croft has captured movement?
Cora points to a non-Croft painting to make her point.
This one has a woman up on her toe, but she feels like a doll. His feels like, in the very next second, her back will be turned to you.
Arthur shrugs with begrudging agreement.
It's in the hair and the tutu.
The ribbons! They curl with the spin.
Plutus leans in to Teresa and Eleanor.
She's got that. I might favour only one of these others over the new one, and that's because of the intense light dichotomy.
Plutus Vance, you nearly sound like your brother.
Teresa tenses at the conversation, while Cora perks up.
Oh? How so?
Eleanor continues despite a look from Teresa. She addresses Cora with a warm smile.
Your father couldn't get enough of assessing lighting and poses. You're very much like him, dear.
Cora beams. Teresa spots a gentleman lingering to the side. She raises her hand and calls him in.
Hello, Sir Reginald. Do join us.
Sir Reginald Hale, 30s, a man with a kind but entirely unartistic face, approaches, looking relieved to have been rescued from a painting he doesn't understand.
Mrs. Vance, a pleasure.
You know my son Plutus and his wife Eleanor. And this, of course, is my granddaughter Cora.
Cora's bright, genuine smile instantly vanishes, replaced by a polite, practiced mask. She gives a small curtsy.
Sir Reginald.
Miss Vance,
He gestures vaguely at the ballerina paintings.
quite a lot of pink.
Teresa seizes the opportunity to steer the conversation away from art and toward more suitable topics.
Cora was just saying how it reminds her of the countryside. Tell me, Sir Reginald, how is the planting coming along in Kent? I hear the rains have been most favourable.
Sir Reginald's face lights up, now on solid ground.
Indeed, the barley fields are the best they've been in years. We're expecting a remarkable harvest.
As he drones on about crop yields, Cora is sadly trapped, nodding politely when she'd rather be engaged with her surroundings. The passionate light that was in her eyes just moments ago, when she spoke of her father and the paintings, has been completely extinguished. She is once again the perfect silent companion. Scene 6. Interior, Lord Ashworth's Gallery, Central Hall. Milena, 40s, a renowned actress who moves in Ashworth's circle, enters with other artists, actors, etc., including Finch, early 30s, Melania's sycophantic hanger-on. Abigail, the lead vocalist at the theatre, and Oscar, Milena's co-star, a man nowhere near as famous or talented as she is. They look around as they enter. Milena directs them towards Aleron.
My lord.
She goes in to kiss his cheek. Milena exudes her own kind of power, feminine and wild, but it clearly bows to Lord Aleron.
Good to see you at your game. I brought some friends to enjoy it. Will be good, I promise.
Milena, my wild thing. Tearing yourself away from the stage for us.
Lord Aleron's eyes glitter with calculation and amusement as he surveys her friends.
I trust your charming flock understands that this is merely the overture. The real performance, as always, begins at my salon tonight. Do save your fire for then.
He then turns, spotting Corbin nearby, just finishing with another interested inquiry about the Persephone Cycle. He gestures to Corbin with a flourish.
Now you must meet the man responsible for all this. Quiet contemplation. T. Corbin Croft, this is Milena, the untamable soul of the London stage. Milena, this is Croft. He has promised to capture the very soul of the gods for me. I thought it only fitting that my two most spirited investments became acquainted.
Corbin gives Milena a polite kiss on her gloved hand.
A pleasure to meet you. I shall have to take in a performance of yours while I am here.
And how long are you gracing us with your presence?
As long as it takes to chase this muse to the end of the tale. We're expecting at least 8 months, if not a year.
Speaking of muses,
Lord Aleron's eyes direct Milena and Corbin to the Vance family. His words are for Milena.
you should be wary of the fire in that one.
Cora is highlighted among her family. Her red hair is bold like Milena's, though Milena's is a rich auburn and not boldly red. She follows his gaze, a small, knowing smile developing on her lips.
Be wary. My lord, please.
She takes a delicate sip of her champagne and scoffs again afterwards.
The Vances don't breed fire. They breed porcelain. Beautiful, expensive, and easily shattered.
Milena's gaze returns to the Vance family. She observes Cora for a long moment, her expression unreadable. She gives a small, dismissive laugh, turning back to Aleron.
A fire needs air to burn, my lord. That household keeps its windows shut tight.
She meets the Earl's gaze, a dangerous glint in her own eyes.
Be careful what you wish for. Sometimes, when you let the air in, the whole house burns down.
She gives him a cautionary smile and turns away, leaving the pair to ponder her words as she moves on with her small cohort. Scene 7. Lord Ashworth's gallery. Main room. East side. The Vance family moves through the crowd. Cora stops dead. She is staring at another painting by Corbin Croft. It's a dark, passionate scene from mythology. Her expression is rapt, her body unconsciously mirroring the pose of the central figure. For a moment, she is no longer in the gallery. She is inside the art. Teresa notices Cora's intense focus, but misinterprets it as a display of refined sensibility, as her granddaughter being the picture of the poise she desires from her. At that moment, Viscount Abernathy, 40s, a kind but unremarkable man, approaches them.
Viscount Abernathy, how delightful to see you.
She places a hand on Cora's arm, deliberately breaking her trance and pulling her away from the painting.
You remember my granddaughter, Cora?
Cora forces a polite smile again, curtsying.
Miss Vance, a pleasure. Enjoying the exhibition?
Very much, my lord. The work is extraordinary.
Her eyes drift back to Corbin's painting over the Viscount's shoulder. The Viscount nods vaguely at the painting.
Yes, quite dramatic. I confess I prefer a nice landscape myself, something calming.
Teresa beams, seeing a perfect match. Cora's polite smile becomes a mask, her spirit sinking. Even here, she can't escape the push of her grandmother. Scene 8. Across the room, Lord Aleron has observed the entire interaction. He leans into Corbin, calling his attention, speaking in a low murmur.
All around us the world turns with machinations, like Mrs. Teresa Vance over there, a fortress of propriety. She guards that granddaughter of hers like a hawk. But did you see her eyes when she looked at your work?
Corbin shakes his head. He hadn't been watching.
You've called the girl out twice now. Is it just the allure of a red-haired beauty or something more? I've been swept up with the beauty of a few Crimson Queens myself.
Lord Aleron gives a slow, knowing smile. He's playing a game Corbin doesn't even know has started.
The hair is merely the frame, Croft. One must appreciate the entire composition.
He takes a sip of his drink, his eyes still on the Vance family.
I've been noticing the lass for a while. 2nd year on the marriage mart. Beautiful but no major prospects. A pity. Her grandmother considers the creative spirit to be a feral dog. She wouldn't accept my suit under any circumstances, despite my being one of the most powerful men in town.
He turns his gaze fully to Corbin, drawing him in deeper to the topic of conversation.
Which is a shame, because I was her son's friend and first patron. Have you seen my Philomelus Vance collection?
He points towards the west wing of the gallery, the opposite end from the ballerinas where the family began their journey.
I saw them as I was directing the insertion of my work. It is a pity he isn't better known.
The man ran off from his family's rigid structure to live with an actress. He exploded with art before his sudden death. A true original. A tragedy.
Lord Aleron deliberately pauses. He leans in slightly, his voice a low murmur.
One that left complications.
His gaze indicated Cora, insinuating that for as proper as they are all trying to be, there is a secret shame. Scene 9. Back with the Vance family. Cora looks vacant and deflated as the Viscount talks, oblivious to the art that surrounds them.
Indeed, the season is in full swing. One barely has time. I was just at a meeting regarding the new colonial shipping bonds. Frightfully dull stuff for you, I imagine, but a necessary venture.
Plutus's ears perk up instantly at the topic. This is his language.
The Anglo-Sudan issue. I've been following the syndicate's progress. Their yield projections seem optimistic.
Viscount Abernathy seems delighted to have found an interested party.
Optimistic is one word for it. Their risk assessment on the port infrastructure is deeply flawed.
As the two men become completely absorbed in a dry discussion of bonds and port infrastructure, Teresa tries to listen, looking pleased. Eleanor maintains her polite composure while managing the children, Arthur and Florence. Cora is completely forgotten for the moment. The conversation has rescued her. She takes a subtle step back, turning her body away from the group. The dull murmur of their financial talk fades into a background hum. Her eyes find the T. Corbin Croft painting again, and she is lost in it once more. Her face relaxes, her posture softens. She is completely, utterly absorbed, her spirit rising from its slumber and re-entering the world of the canvas. Scene 10. Across the room, Corbin and Lord Aleron watch Cora's transformation as she disengages from the social niceties and re-engages with the painting. The Lord's expression is one of intense, vindicated awe as he observes Mr. Croft taking in the girl. He has just witnessed her true nature emerge. Corbin's eyes narrow. His focus is absolute. For a moment, the bustling gallery around Cora seems to fade away in his mind's eye. He envisions Cora, draped in shadow. Cora, bathed in golden light. Cora, with a look of terror. A dozen potential paintings flash behind his eyes, a lifetime of art in a single, breathtaking moment.
You're right. The widow is a fool not to see the art in the artist's daughter. There is something about her. She could very well be perfect.
Lord Aleron's face develops into a slow, satisfied smile. He knew the answer all along. He just needed the artist to see it too. The plan is already forming.
So it begins.
Persephone.
Indeed. And now the king of the gods must arrange an introduction.
He scans the area, his eyes landing on Plutus.
Ah, there's our bridge to the upper world. Come, Croft. Let's go make a new friend.
Aleron leads Corbin through the bustling gallery, his eyes locked on his target. Mr. Davies and the others from their circle remain at the main gallery centre. Scene 11. With the Vance family. They cross to the Vance family, circled up in conversation with a Viscount.
With the terrible storms in the Indies, I doubt anyone will make profit on their investment.
He looks up to see Lord Aleron and Corbin approaching.
Oh, the Earl has left his perch.
The whole of them pause and give a brief nod of acknowledgement to the approaching Earl. Their voices ring out in a chorus of, "Lord Ashworth?" The Earl gives a charming, predatory smile in return. He completely ignores the Viscount and directs his attention to Plutus, but speaks loudly enough for everyone to hear.
Plutus, just the man. I was telling Croft here that his new series lacks but one thing, a true English muse. Not some pale, theatrical creature, but a woman of spirit, of fire.
His gaze deliberately slides to Cora, making her the centre of attention. Teresa tenses, horrified. The Viscount looks deeply uncomfortable.
Look at her, Croft. The line of that neck, the soul in those eyes. That is your Persephone.
He has just turned the young woman into an artistic commodity in front of her family and a potential suitor. It's a breathtaking power move. Viscount Abernathy clears his throat, utterly out of his depth.
Well, I must be heading out. A pleasure to have passed the time with you, Vances.
The Viscount makes a hasty retreat. Lord Aleron watches him go, a flicker of triumph in his eyes. He has just cleared the board. The silence is thick and awkward. Plutus looks at his furious mother. Teresa looks at her granddaughter like she should have somehow stopped this from occurring. Corbin, seeing his moment, steps into the void the Earl created. He ignores Teresa and Plutus entirely and speaks only to Cora, his voice low and intense with artistic passion.
Miss Vance, I have to confess I saw how captivated you were by the painting. In seconds, you demonstrated a deeper understanding of the soul of it than anyone else in the room. I need that in my model for Persephone in the upcoming project.
He takes a step closer, drawing her into his vision as he paints it with his words.
The first painting, I see a field of asphodel at dawn. The light is pale, new, and you are there, not as a simple girl, but as the very soul of spring before the world knows of winter. It would be a hymn to innocence.
For a moment, Cora forgets everyone. Her eyes light up with genuine, breathless excitement. The mask is gone. We see the artist within her connect with his vision.
A hymn. A light. Filled with white flowers and green stems.
The word is full of wonder, but the moment is shattered by a single, sharp sound.
Cora.
At her grandmother's harsh, brief rebuke, the light in Cora's eyes instantly vanishes. The mask of polite, vacant propriety slams back into place. Her posture straightens. She looks at the floor.
Forgive me, grandmother.
Corbin watches this transformation, this extinguishing of her spirit. He now understands the obstacle perfectly.
It sounds lovely, sir, but, as my grandmother says, Vances do not make art.
This statement slaps Lord Aleron. He hosts her father's art in this very gallery. He turns to Teresa, his voice a mask of charming disbelief.
Teresa, my dear, is that truly what you're teaching this brilliant young woman? You must have misremembered. I recall your son, Philomelas, being one of the most promising Vance I ever knew. His collection is the pride of my gallery.
Plutus looks at his mother, who is fuming, and he decides he needs to assert some control over the situation before she bursts.
Of course, Lord Ashworth. We are well aware of the quality of my late brother's work. There are, of course, other reasons that Vances no longer make art.
That changes today, then. I'll fund the portrait and, if it isn't right for the collection, I'll donate it. To the daughter of someone I remember fondly and often.
Cora brightens. She has had more chemistry with both Lord Aleron and Corbin than with either potential suitor. They do not make her sullen or withdrawn, but eager and engaged. Cora answers Lord Aleron directly, her voice clear and steady.
I would be honoured to sit for it, Lord Ashworth. The work of T. Corbin Croft has stirred me, as you've seen. To be the subject of one.
Cora doesn't finish her sentence. Everyone sees her awe and delight. They all understand her emotion on the matter. Scene 12. Interior, the Vance house foyer, afternoon. Eleanor scuttles the children off quickly. She looks back but doesn't intrude on the family argument that has been aching to erupt the entire journey home. Once the younger children are away, Teresa finally bursts.
The sheer audacity. To turn my own granddaughter into a public spectacle.
She turns her furious gaze directly on Cora, her voice dripping with venom.
And you drank it in. You let that man dismiss a viscount, a title, and sell your reputation for a single painting. Is that what you were worth?
She nor any of us had a choice, Mother. He's an earl and he's a big mover in my line of work. His businesses touch mine everywhere. I cannot make an enemy of him. And he's right. Phil's work was phenomenal.
Why haven't I seen any of it if it is that good?
Because you will not be like him. You will not embarrass this family.
Mother!
Don't you dare take that tone with me.
That is enough!
Plutus has put his foot down, and he waits for silence.
The only person embarrassing this family right now is you. I suggest you go find something to occupy your time. Cora's time will be occupied elsewhere for the time being.
Teresa glares at her son, then turns the brunt of her anger upon Cora before silently storming off. The heavy silence of the foyer hangs in the air, thick with unspoken words. Plutus lets out a long, weary breath he seems to have been holding for 20 years. He looks at Cora, really looks at her, perhaps for the first time not as a ward to be managed, but as his brother's daughter. Plutus stands, quietly rubbing the bridge of his nose.
Well, that was inevitable, I suppose.
He doesn't look angry, just tired. He gestures with his head toward a heavy oak door down the hall.
Come with me.
He leads her away from the public space of the foyer and into his private study. Scene 13. Interior, Plutus's study. The room is the opposite of Teresa's drawing room. It's masculine, smelling of leather and old paper. Books on finance and law line the walls. It is a room of commerce and pragmatism. Plutus closes the door, shutting out the rest of the house. He moves to a decanter of brandy and pours himself a small measure, his hand not entirely steady.
She means well, Cora. You must know that. In her own formidable way.
Cora stands in the middle of the room, looking small. She ignores his comment, her mind fixed on the one thing that matters.
You said his work was phenomenal, my father's. Why was I never allowed to know?
Plutus takes a sip of his brandy.
Because my mother has been grieving my brother every day for 23 years. She's been grieving him since he left this home to pursue that art. It merely deepened with his death. The arrival of you shortly later set her on her path. She was so afraid you would have his spirit that she denied you everything that touched his interests. She suppressed your rebellious spirit that reminded you of his disregard for the rules. She thought if she could just keep you safe, keep you proper, she could undo it all somehow. That fear left no room for anyone to mourn him.
He gestures to the chair opposite his desk. It's an invitation, one Cora accepts. She feels the truth of her uncle's words as they hang powerfully in the air. Both of their eyes mist before they find stability again.
And so, do you think I have it? His spirit?
Plutus snorts. He can't help himself. He's grinning as he answers.
You have his spirit. You likely have her spirit on top of that. You have more spirit than anyone, even the matron, can tame. Your father would be very proud of you, of the young woman you are.
Cora sits, absorbing this. It's the kindest, most honest thing her uncle has ever said to her. A new, fragile understanding forms between them in the quiet of the study.
What happens now?
Plutus finishes his brandy.
Now, I do something I should have done 20 years ago. I stop letting fear run this house. You will sit for the painting. I will handle my mother. Maybe then we can both make him proud.
He says it with the grim determination of a man who knows he has just started a war. Scene 14. Exterior, the studio, Thursday afternoon. A few days later, Cora and Eleanor arrive for the portrait sitting in the family carriage. Gone is the bustle of the last visit, and we now have a proper plaque that reads T. Corbin Croft, Artist in Residence, beside the door. Cora looks at her aunt with excited nerves, then turns back and knocks.
Enter!
Again, Cora looks to her aunt. Eleanor nods and they enter despite the bad manners. Scene 15. Interior, the studio. The studio is nearly unpacked. We see a few boxes remaining, but there is a functional setup. Slightly off-center in the room, a large format studio camera on a tripod stands like a silent observer. Beside it is Corbin's easel, set up before a well-lit raised platform where a patch of grass and fake asphodels has been arranged. The whole space is centered on the 4 large windows pouring light in. A white drape hangs as a backdrop to the staging area and a few more in the back left corner, creating a simple dressing space. Corbin, in a paint-splattered apron, approaches them with an air of professional charm. He wipes his hands on his apron as he moves in.
Welcome, Mrs. Vance. How wonderful of you to come. I'll ask you to make yourself comfortable. The lounge, perhaps?
He points to the chaise longue that rests under the first window. Eleanor takes a seat and pulls out an embroidery project, the picture of calm trust. As Corbin turns to Cora, his professional charm melts away, replaced by artistic intensity.
Now, Miss Vance, into the light, if you please. Just beyond the suggestion of grass.
Cora moves to the spot. Corbin follows, assessing her face, tilting her chin with his knuckles. He models a pose. She mirrors it perfectly. Satisfied, he moves back to the camera.
Is it true that the image appears upside down inside?
Corbin stops, surprised and genuinely delighted by her intelligent question. He gives her a real smile.
It is. A perfect, ghostly little inversion of the world. Perhaps one day I'll let you see. Now, you will see 3 yellow spots. Left, right, centre. I'll be taking a photograph of your face as you stare at each. Hold your expression neutral, eyes fixed.
He ducks under the heavy dark cloth. He is now a mysterious, hunched figure. His voice is muffled from under the drape of fabric.
Take your first mark and hold.
Cora picks a dot, her nerves settling into a focused stillness. After a long, silent moment, we hear the sharp click-clack of the shutter. Corbin emerges from under the cloth.
Stay in the same position. Change your focus only. Over to the next dot.
As he deftly swaps out the glass plate holder, his eyes never leave her face. He ducks back under the cloth again, this time taking a third plate with him. While the shutter makes its distinct click-clack sound once, and then twice for the 2 plates, changed between shots, Cora quickly glances at Eleanor, checking for tension, and finding none. Corbin emerges triumphant from beneath the dark cloth.
Now that I have my references for when I don't have my subject, let us get you attired.
He calls over his shoulder, his eyes still on Cora.
Mrs. Vance, if you would be so kind as to join us and assist your niece.
Scene 16. The studio changing area. Corbin leads both women to a simple changing area, dominated by a single dress form. On it hangs a magnificent white gown of Grecian inspiration. It is simple, elegant, and utterly free of the corsetry and bustles of the era. Cora stops, her breath catching. Corbin watches her face, a delighted smile spreading across his own.
Yes, that is the look I was hoping for.
Cora reaches out a hand, almost afraid to touch the fabric. She is as taken with it as she was the painting in the gallery.
It is so different from anything I've ever worn.
Lord Ashworth had your usual modiste convey your measurements to the Madame Valeraine, the couturier he employs. I'm hopeful we won't need many adjustments. You'll find the proper support garments within, and pins should you need them. The shoulder train can be laid over the back to cover any alterations.
Corbin leaves the space and Eleanor begins helping Cora change. Scene 17. The studio, at the easel. Corbin has a rough sketch of grass, flowers, and the dress on the canvas. He adds a few strokes for lighting and environment while he waits. Eleanor comes into view first, and she heads back to the chaise with a nod. Cora appears. Radiant innocence. The simple Grecian gown transforms her. Corbin stops breathing. The artist's charm vanishes, replaced by something else. A raw, obsessive focus. The vision has him. He circles her slowly, his eyes narrowed, ignoring Eleanor completely. He is a hawk studying its prey. He stops, taking in the full picture.
Yes?
He steps forward purposefully. His touch is proprietary, the touch of a sculptor arranging his clay. His knuckles gently tilt her chin up, angling her face toward the window.
Hold that.
He takes a step back, raising his hand, using his thumb to frame her face from a distance. He moves to her side, lifting her arm slightly to adjust the fall of the drapery over her shoulder.
Perfect. Do not move.
He moves back to his easel, his focus absolute. He is no longer seeing the young woman in his studio. He is seeing the first panel of his masterpiece. The Maiden, the soul of spring, his Persephone. Corbin begins sketching. He works for a time, then comes back and adjusts her or gives a direction. Then he returns the easel and works again. Time passes as he refines his vision, and we start to see brushes and paints replace charcoal. Scene 18. The studio, late afternoon. The sun has shifted drastically. Corbin sets his brush down, and the intensity leaves him.
Are we done?
She looks to Corbin, to Eleanor, and back to him.
Yes. Tomorrow, same time. We will resume.
He wipes his hands on the apron, then walks off to clean his brush at the station to his right, leaving Cora and Eleanor in the space. Eleanor rises and meets Cora at the back of the platform. She offers Cora a hand to better step down from the platform.
You looked stunning. Even if this turns into just a gift for you, it will be the most radiant image of a Vance ever painted.
Did you see it?
I can see very little from my perch, and I'm sure that is how the master craftsman wants it. I'm speaking more of what I saw in you. It is a shame the matron believes beauty must be so tightly corseted.
Cora grasps the hand that Eleanor offered tenderly.
You have always been in my corner. I'm glad you came instead of her.
Eleanor acknowledges it silently. It is no special thing for her, just who she is.
Come, let's get you ready to go home.
At least we don't have to hunt out any pins.
Scene 19. The studio darkroom. Thursday night. The room is near total darkness, but for the red safe light. Corbin exposes the glass plate from the plate holder. He handles it with care at the edges alone. He pours developer over the image in a first tray. The tray is gently rocked back and forth. A slow magic happens in the tray as a ghostly negative of Cora's face and shoulders appears. When he is satisfied, he uses tongs to lift the plate, let it drip, then move it to the stop bath in the middle. After a brief rinse, he moves the plate into a third tray containing the fixer. The two other plates are already done. Lord Aleron calls from the other room.
Croft, are you in there?
Corbin examines the image of Cora for a moment before responding.
I'll be out in a moment. Feel free to grab a drink and, whatever you do, do not open the door.
Scene 20. The studio living quarters. Aleron approaches a simple drink cart. He sniffs the various decanters and picks one to pour a glass of. Corbin appears after a time. Aleron immediately reacts to the acrid smell.
You stink.
Art isn't always beautiful while it is in process.
I concur. I've seen plenty of mess before the aesthetic rises. Typically less stink.
Corbin moves to a small wash basin in the corner, removing his paint-smeared apron and setting it aside. He rolls up his sleeves and begins vigorously washing his hands and forearms, the scent of carbolic soap mixing with the chemicals.
What brings you here, Lord Ashworth?
You weren't at my salon. When one of my stars is absent from the firmament, I feel it is my duty to ensure he hasn't fallen to earth.
You could have sent a footman if that was all.
I like you, Croft. You're sharper than some of your breed. No, I confess I was curious. I came to inspect my investment, to see if this muse of yours has the stamina for the work ahead.
You should come see the process in person. They'll be back tomorrow afternoon.
They?
Her aunt accompanied her.
Aleron grunts his understanding, a flicker of annoyance on his face.
Will your prints be done by then?
That depends, my lord. Do you want me at your salon tonight? Or do you want me in my dark room, creating the art you've paid for?
Aleron chuckles softly, a sound of pure condescending amusement. He takes a slow sip of his drink, enjoying the moment.
My dear Croft, do you think I am a collector of ephemera? I am paying for masterpieces that will hang on walls for a century. Your glass plates and chemical stains are as valuable to me as the dust motes dancing in your light. They are your process, your affair, your added expenses.
He sets his glass down with a quiet finality, his eyes turning to steel.
The artist, however, and the masterpiece he is creating, that is my investment. And my investments must be seen. Now your coat. I'll be keeping you out late.
Scene 20. The studio, Friday afternoon. The painting of The Maiden is nearly complete on the easel. The composition is magnificent. The colours are luminous and alive. Cora stands on the platform before it, a study in stillness in the white Grecian gown. She is the living embodiment of the art, holding the final pose for the day. On the chaise longue, Eleanor's needle moves with quiet, rhythmic precision. A small domestic anchor in this bohemian sea. Before the easel, Lord Aleron and Corbin stand like generals, reviewing a successful campaign. Aleron holds a glass of brandy. Corbin holds his palette, a smudge of white paint on his cheek. Their conversation is low, a business-like murmur.
It is a triumph, Croft, a definitive success. Plutus Vance will be convinced.
Eleanor raises an eyebrow and makes eye contact with Cora.
She has a rare quality, a stillness with motion, or motion made still.
She has utility. Now that the trial is complete, we proceed with the full cycle. I expect your undivided attention.
Aleron turns his gaze from the painting to the real thing. He acknowledges Cora as if noticing a piece of furniture for the first time.
You are holding up well, Miss Vance. The work is not too strenuous.
Cora meets his gaze. The transformation is instant. She becomes the very image of the maiden from the painting, her eyes wide and guileless, a soft, questioning smile on her lips.
No, my lord. It is an honour.
Lord Aleron gives a satisfied nod, his assessment complete. He turns back to Corbin.
Excellent. The investment must be protected. See that she remains so. Now, Mrs. Vance, where might I find your husband at this hour?
Scene 21. Interior, Royal Lyceum Theatre. Private box. Friday night. The box is opulent, draped in dark velvet. It overlooks a stage where Melena, as a tragic Greek queen, holds the audience captive with a powerful monologue. The theatre is fashionable, artistic, and intimate. Lord Aleron sits like a king on his throne, observing not the stage, but Plutus Vance. Plutus is trying to appear sophisticated, but he is clearly impressed by the raw power of the performance and the bohemian energy of the crowd. The curtain falls for intermission. The theatre erupts in applause.
Magnificent, isn't she? Melena has a fire that few can match. Which brings me to the matter at hand. Croft's work, your niece.
He pours 2 glasses of brandy and hands one to Plutus. Plutus accepts the glass and gestures out to the stage.
She is gifted, my niece too, in her own way, but my mother is protective.
Protection is for children. We are talking about a legacy. The Persephone Cycle will be the artistic event of the decade. It requires a muse of singular quality. It requires your niece.
He takes a sip, letting the weight of his statement hang in the air.
I am prepared to establish a fund in her name, a substantial sum in addition to the weekly payments for her time, enough to ensure her independence should she ever need it.
That is very generous, my lord. Cora is currently lacking the sizable dowry expected of a woman of her good family name, something I believe you are aware of since you helped me handle Philomelus's estate after he passed.
It is merely good business. And speaking of business, I understand you've had some difficulty securing favourable routes for your new shipping acquisitions in the East.
Plutus is taken aback by this topic. That is an inside matter in his business of shipping and export.
I happen to have a controlling interest in a certain charter company. With my backing, your venture would have priority access. The profits would be considerable.
The bait is laid. Aleron is offering Plutus the keys to a kingdom he's been locked out of. Plutus understands the unspoken price of the second deal is agreeing to the first, but he asks anyway, knowing only a fool assumes.
And in return for that aid?
Your full and enthusiastic approval for the entire series. You will manage your mother, and you will both understand the nature of artistic creation. The work must be private, Vance, absolutely private. The connection between an artist and his muse is a delicate, sacred thing. It cannot be disturbed by chaperones.
Has my wife been a problem?
Your wife is a charming woman, Vance, but we are not arranging a tea party. We are commissioning a masterpiece. An artist cannot capture a soul if there is a duenna watching over his shoulder, judging every brushstroke. The process requires absolute focus, unhindered access. It is a non-negotiable condition for the quality of work I expect. It is the same way men like you and I tackle our financial endeavours. Better to work unhindered. With this deal, you get the space in your area and Croft gets the space in his.
How can I be certain I am not just selling my niece into sin?
Come with her yourself tomorrow. Croft only needs her for a half session by his assessment. The piece will speak for itself.
Scene 22. Interior, Vance drawing room. The scene is the polar opposite of the bustling theatre. The room is dark, lit only by a single lamp. The only sound is the severe ticking of the mantel clock. Teresa sits ramrod straight in her chair, not reading, not doing needlepoint, just waiting. Her posture is a study in controlled fury. Eleanor enters quietly.
Will you not be retiring soon, Mother Vance? It is getting late.
Your husband is out with that man. And anything involving that man puts Cora at risk. I am simply keeping watch.
Eleanor understands, but doesn't necessarily agree. She gives a small, sad nod and begins to retreat. Instead, Plutus sweeps in. He stops when he sees his mother sitting there, a sentinel in the dim light. He straightens his waistcoat, bracing himself. He leans in to kiss Eleanor.
Darling, Mother, you're still up.
It's not a question, it's an accusation. He is immediately on the defensive.
Of course. I cannot sleep. Not until I know what you and the Earl of Ashworth were about this evening. I will not lay down my head until I know what deal you have made with that man regarding my blood and bone.
We took in a play at the Royal Lyceum, and I heard him out on an arrangement that secures your granddaughter's future and protects this family's interests. I will be accompanying Cora tomorrow to assess the work and finalise my decision. Eleanor, perhaps you and Mother can enjoy the boating festivities with the children.
That sounds lovely, don't you think, Mother Vance?
It smells like fish.
Scene 24. Interior, the studio, Saturday afternoon. Cora Vance is in the maiden gown, holding her pose on the platform. The painting on the easel is magnificent, nearly complete. Plutus Vance and T. Corbin Croft stand before it. Plutus is silent for a long moment, taking it all in. Corbin waits, not interrupting. Plutus steps closer to the canvas, his businessman's eye assessing the work.
Remarkable. The precision of the brushwork, the sheer labour involved. It's an extraordinary piece of craftsmanship, Mr. Croft.
This is praise Corbin can understand, but it's not what he's looking for. Plutus then turns his head slightly, looking from the painted Cora on the canvas to the real Cora on the platform. His expression softens. The pragmatist vanishes, replaced by a man seeing a ghost.
But that's not it, is it? It's not just the skill. You've captured something. Not just her likeness, you've painted my brother's spirit, that fire, that complete disregard for the world when art was before him. I haven't seen that look since he was still boyish.
He looks back at Cora, who has overheard this. Her expression is one of stunned, vulnerable revelation. Her uncle has connected her not to her familial duty, but to her father's soul. Plutus turns back to Corbin, his decision made. The deal is no longer just about business.
My mother is wrong, Mr. Croft. This must continue. As I discussed with Lord Aleron, you shall have space to work. When do you expect to be finished with Cora today so I can return by then? I'll leave her in your employ while I finish arrangements with your patron.
Uncle?
I have every trust in your safety and that Lord Aleron has made arrangements to ensure you are kept respectable. No need for fear.
But the matron? She won't hear of such an arrangement. She'll be venomous.
As I said, my mother is wrong. I will address her concerns. You are to work on this and continue to shine with all that Vance fire. Show the world who you are.
I'll have the right light for another hour or two, sir.
Good. I will be back by then, my dear.
The heavy studio door clicks shut. The silence that follows is completely different from the tense quiet of the Vance home. It is alive, charged with creative energy. Cora is still processing her uncle's words, her expression vulnerable. Corbin watches her for a moment, his own expression softening. He paints another detail in silence. He goes to his camera and prepares it. He gives her no direction, just disappears under the heavy cloth and manipulates the device until we hear the click-clack of the image being captured. He finishes the actions with the camera, then turns to her. The formal master craftsman is gone. He approaches her not as a director, but as a fellow artist.
He is right, you know. What I see on that canvas, it is not just you. It is a spirit, a fire. The same one I saw in the gallery.
He is closer to her now than he has been before, no longer separated by the easel or the camera, not the decorum of direction. He is speaking to her, not to his muse.
I never knew him. The man whose fire I have. I hold on tight to it, but I don't know about him, about its source.
You don't have to. I didn't know him either, but I've seen his work. You are his echo, his legacy, and our work will be the hymn that sings his name back into a world that tried to forget him. Are you ready to see what you've heard them all praise?
Corbin reaches out his hand to her to aid her down the step of the platform. Cora takes his hand and he escorts her to the other side of the easel. He moves with her as a man at ease. For Cora, it is more like how her uncle would move with her than a suitor or a dance partner at a social event. Once in front of the painting, she stops. Her hand flies to her mouth, stifling a small gasp. On the canvas, the girl is undeniably her. The red hair, the blue eyes. But it's a version of herself she has only ever met in her most private daydreams. The girl in the painting is not stiffly posed like a society portrait. Her head is tilted with genuine curiosity. Her posture is relaxed, graceful, poised. The light doesn't just fall on her, it seems to emanate from within her. But it's the eyes that steal her breath. Corbin has captured a look she knows intimately, a look of deep, soulful longing for a world just beyond the frame. It's the expression she feels when she stares out the drawing room window, the one she has spent her entire life learning to hide. She sees herself, not as the matron's project, but as a complete person, full of a quiet, vibrant life. She reaches out a trembling finger, stopping just short of touching the canvas.
She looks free and yet weighted as well.
Corbin watches her, his expression soft. He understands. He has not just shown her his art, he has shown her herself.
She is. And so are you.
Before Cora can respond, the heavy studio door opens. Plutus, Lord Aleron, and his man Mr. Davies enter. The quiet, sacred atmosphere of the studio is instantly shattered by their presence. They are the world of commerce and power, invading the world of art. Aleron's eyes immediately go to the painting. He gives a slow, satisfied nod. Plutus, however, looks at Cora, seeing the genuine, vibrant emotion on her face.
I have spoken with Lord Ashworth. He agrees with my assessment. The trial was a success. We are proceeding with the full commission.
Mr. Davies places a heavy, formal contract on a nearby table.
A formality, to ensure all parties are protected.
The subtext is clear. To ensure his investment is protected. Cora looks from the contract to her uncle's resolute face to Aleron's predatory smile. She then looks at Corbin. He gives her a slight, almost imperceptible nod. He wants this. He needs this. Finally, she looks back at the painting on the easel, at the image of the free woman she could be. She walks to the table. She picks up the pen. We see her hand tremble for just a moment before it becomes steady. She signs her name, Cora Vance. The camera holds on her face as she finishes the final stroke. Her expression is a complex, unreadable mask of fear, excitement, and the dawning realization that she has just willingly signed herself over to the kings of the Underworld.
Velvet curtains curtains, ticking clock, a statue dreaming on the block. Fingers trace the frost on glass. Another perfect Sunday past. They say my duty is my name, to snuff a wild and whispered flame. Fences don't create, she said, left the artist in me dead. But you told me I have a spirit, a ghost. I'm finally allowed to hear it. Now I'm stepping into the light. A ghost of the inversion in the night. The world turns upside down for me. To finally be free, to finally be free. A gallery of painted lies reflected in a suitor's eyes. Then a voice that saw my soul, a story waiting to be told. A field of asphodel at dawn, a hymn to innocence is drawn. And in your study, cold and dim, you spoke of truth, you spoke of him. 'Cause you told me I have a spirit, a ghost. I'm finally allowed to hear it. Now I'm stepping into the light. A ghost of the inversion in the night. The world turns upside down for me. To finally be free. To finally be free. This Grecian gown feels more like skin than all the cages I've been in. He sees a goddess, sees a queen, a world I've only ever seen in dreams. And in the dark, a chemical haze, my face appears and holds his gaze. A ghostly inversion, a click, a clack, a new creation. My father's pride, my salvation.